Hey guys, welcome back to Firearms and Fellowship. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. I was talking to myself for about 20 minutes. So I apologize for that. Uh, Welcome into the podcast. Thank you for joining into the chat. Pat, I see you down there. If you want to jump in, man, holler at me. And Charlene K, thank you so much. Just wanted to get on here tonight and talk about a few things that I've been thinking about and try out a solo podcast. To be honest, I haven't done one. I enjoy. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, sir. I enjoy getting on here and talking with you guys and getting in the chat. And yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, Kentucky. Hey, man. Thank you so much, brother. First thing was well, I went over and helped a family member with some land clearing today, and I've got this old Kubota, and let me pull up a picture of what it is because I think it's just such a great tractor. This isn't a great picture of it, but it's just a subcompact little tractor, four-wheel drive. This thing will go anywhere. It's got I think a 48-inch bucket on it, 60-inch deck if you need it, 3-point, just super handy. It's done everything that I've needed to do. You know, if you live on a acreage with, I don't know, an acre to 20 acres or something like that, man, this thing's just handy as can be. It saves my back every day. I think every man over 40 should have one of them because just to pick stuff up. But yeah, been really happy with this. It's got, I don't know, 1,000 hours on it, and those old Kubotas, they'll run forever. So they'll probably have to bury me with that tractor. So yeah, did a little bit of land clearing with that. Had the rake on the back today. Piled up some stuff, picked up some big rocks with the bucket, and I did. We did throw off the shaft on the 4-wheel drive today, so we had to hook that back up, but got her back up and running, and she's good to go. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about. She's good to go. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about. Uh-oh. I got a little that, guys. The other thing I wanted to talk about was when I was coming back from the Las Vegas Antique Arms Show. On the flight back, across the aisle sat a guy from Phoenix Flashlights, Daniel Bryan. He's their wholesale and operations manager. So I got to visit with him for quite a while about Phoenix Flashlights. And you guys know that I've been carrying Nebos for a long time. I'm a big fan of Nebo, but I had a good conversation with Daniel, and I think they've got some stuff over there that I'd like to try out. And I emailed him yesterday, and said, there's a couple lights that I think might replace that mini slim. So hopefully they'll send me a couple lights to look at, and I'll give you guys an honest review of them. Like you guys know how much I like the Nebos, so we'll see how that goes. The Phoenix lights do look good, man. This one here's 700 lumens, which I don't need. 700 lumens is, man, that's a crazy light for a little pocket light. One of the things that I talked to Daniel about is that I liked having the light right here, so I can look like this and I can hang it on my hood when I'm working on something and it kind of shines down. And he wasn't sure if they had something with that, but they do have a light that rotates. Let me pull this up. See, this rotates right here. So that would work. Plus it's magnetic on the bottom, just like the Nebo is, and has a clip. 150 lumens, 49 hours runtime. So yeah, I would be really interested in checking out that light. I was talking to Gizzard Gary yesterday evening, and I asked him about them, and he really likes them. Good build quality. They're not a flashy light. No pun intended, but that some lights go out of their way to make themselves known in the market. Um, he said Phoenix just builds a solid quality light, and that's really all I need. Uh, I've got I've got a Nebo Slim from when they first came out, and I'll tell you that thing's been through it. It's spent many nights out in the rain, been beat up, been dropped. So I just want a light that's tough, durable, consistent, has good runtime, and a clean light. um, when we talk about a clean light, the beam that it throws, I don't like to have a shadow in there. Some of these lights, and even some of my Nebo lights are like that. They have this shadow in there, and man, I don't like that. I want to have a nice clean light. The Nebo Slim's been good at that. So yeah, hopefully we can do something with Phoenix, and I'd like to take a look at their lights with you guys and give you my honest opinion of them. Um, it wouldn't be a sponsored thing. They just send me some lights and I'll tell you what I think about them. And I'll tell you the truth. Anybody that knows me, the truth come out whether you like it or not. So yeah. The other thing I've been wanting to talk about this week. It's just been busy. We had the fundraiser with Kentucky Rimfire and his neighbor, and I was so fortunate to be a part of that. And I appreciate them inviting me in to be a part of that. It was a great experience. They raised a lot of money for them. That's a hard deal. Young couple they got washed out by a flood, no insurance, just a total loss. And man, our heart goes out to them. But we raised a bit of money for them this week, and all the people that donated money got to be part of a giveaway, and we all threw in some products that we had, and so that's a great thing. I'm going to get those mailed off this week. Wonderful deal. So Kentucky, thank you for doing that for them, and man, that was awesome. Yeah, Kentucky says, thanks, Jeremy. Just what I need, another light. I have a thing for flashlights. Brother, I can't even tell you how many I have. It's kind of embarrassing. Um, it's almost like I'm afraid of the dark or something. But yeah, hopefully Phoenix will reach out to us and do something with us. Daniel seemed like a really good guy when I visited with him, so we'll see how that goes. The other thing I've really been wanting to talk about is really 22 mag, just in general. I've got this Harrington and Richardson. I'm gonna pull up this old ad for them. The I did this earlier. Yeah, so the Harrington and Richardson 700. It's not a rifle you hear about at all, really. Yeah, and I don't know if they probably didn't make very many of them. It was an expensive rifle, $300, and that was in 1982. Maybe somebody can pull up the inflation date on that, but I would imagine that this is it was probably like $1,000 rifle today for a 22 mag cartridge that really has never been super popular and definitely wasn't super popular then. It's a big, heavy rifle, which is nice when you're shooting it because it's got a nice, soft recoil. And I, I think it's kind of ugly, to be honest with you, but it does shoot good, and it cycles perfectly. I've never had a malfunction in that rifle, and that's one of the things about 22 semi-autos is that they don't function properly. It's a weird case size for a semi-auto. It's just too long and too skinny. And somebody was trying to explain to me the other day that the mechanics behind of why it doesn't work, and I still don't understand. Oh, Charlene says $980. Man, yeah, $980 for a 22 Win Mag. Yeah, would you drop that today? I don't know. It'd have to be a pretty nice rifle. Um, but yeah, getting the 22 mag to cycle properly in a semi-auto is just it takes a feat of engineering. I bought the Keltec 22 mag, the PMR 30, when they first came out. And what an awesome idea, right? 22 mag, you got 30 rounds, lightweight gun. I never could get that gun to cycle through a full mag. I couldn't get it cycled through half a mag, and I don't know if I got it to cycle through a quarter of a mag. So it was never any fun for me. And so, but I'll say the engineering has come along, because I bought the Smith and Wesson M&P 22 mag this year. And I'll tell you what, I have not had a single misfire malfunction out of that pistol yet. It has been a blast to shoot. Now, I don't have a ton of rounds through it. I don't have 1,000 rounds through it, but I can get a full mag through it. I can tell you that. Yeah, Kentucky rimfire, you're right. So Ruger did have a 1022 and a 22 mag, and they didn't keep them around very long because they didn't work. It's just it's a tough, when you're a company like Ruger, you can't have a firearm out there that doesn't work. So they got rid of it pretty quick. I've seen one at the gun shows that I've been to, and I don't remember what it was. It was too much for a gun that probably ain't gonna work. But the 700 works. It functions flawlessly, and it's a good shooter. It's accurate. That's what you want. And so going back to 22 mag, why 22 mag? Well, man, 22 mag, you're getting twice the power over a 22 long rifle. There's hardly any kick to a 22 mag, especially out of a rifle that weighs 9 pounds. So yeah, that's a wonderful rifle. It's a wonderful cartridge. I was told years ago that in this part of the state, and this isn't legal. Not saying you should do it. I'm not saying anybody should do it, and I don't know if it's actually been done. I was just told this, that more deer have been taken with the 22 mag in this part than any other cartridge, and this is 30-30 country. We're dense woods, thick. I mean, thick. You can't walk through the woods; they're so thick. So I don't know. I think 22 mag is kind of a cartridge that deserves a little bit more credit, maybe. I watched a video the other day of some of the ballistics from some of the new cartridges that are out, and man, I mean, you're getting 12 inches in gelatin, and yeah, it you know, do you want to carry a rimfire as a self defense cartridge? Probably not. But if you're going to, 22 mag, nobody wants to stand in front of a 22 long rifle. You darn sure don't want to stand in front of a 22 mag. So, yeah, it's just I think it's a neat cartridge. I think it deserves more attention than it gets. Maybe a little bit ahead of its time. I don't know. It didn't catch on like maybe it should have. I've got a couple of them. Yeah, neck shots, ear shots, stuff like that. And proper lung shot, 22 mags, nothing to sneeze at. It's just not. But yeah, um, I've got a few of them. I've got the pistol, the Smith and Wesson. Man, they knocked it out of the park with that. We talked about the other night. Smith and Wesson's got some folks working for them because they had that. Of course, years ago they came out with the M&P series and then the EZ, which for people like my wife who have a hard time racking the slide, the EZ is a great pistol. I just bought the Bodyguard 2.0 this year. Man, what a fantastic 380 fits in my hand. That's only 380 that I can actually get a full purchase on. It's incredible. It shoots like a laser. You got super high bore access, right? So the muzzle doesn't flip hardly at all when you're shooting that thing. Just such a great gun. I got a buddy, he's 6'5". I swear to God, he looks like Paul Bunyan. That's how he's a big dude. And he can grab that gun and he gets full purchase on it, He's got giant meatloaf hands and he just so really good design on that pistol. But yeah, maybe I went a little too long on that. But yeah, the H&R 700. I had taken the scope off of it. We're gonna put it back on and get it back out on the range and put it on paper. See how accurate the gorilla on the back of that rifle can be. Looking forward to that. Got some new ammo to shoot through it as well. So yeah, now that the weather's finally cleared up, we had like 2 weeks of just nasty, cold, windy, snowy weather. Just not fun to get out and shoot in. But we got like 60 degrees for the next couple weeks. So I will show you. Let me pull this up because I want to tag this on the back side of that H&R conversation. Where is it? Yeah, here's an old ad from that. Where did I put it? Well, I may have deleted it. Anyway, while I'm here talking, maybe I'll pull it up. But there's a good ad on or a good article on Eugene Rising who designed the 700. Of course, he designed the Model 50 submachine gun, the Leatherneck, the 165, the training rifle that they used in the United States Marine Corps. A lot of similarities between those rifles, the 165 Leatherneck and the 700. When you open them up and you look at them, you're like, oh yeah, you can see his fingerprints all over that action. So pretty cool stuff. What was the other thing? Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Kentucky. Appreciate that, man. Now, Kentucky says you've been shopping for a Remington 513, haven't you? Oh yeah, yeah. I would love to have one. When I was out in Vegas, I picked up. Oh, where'd I put them? We're losing control here. I've got some ads from. Where did I put those? I'll think about it for a second. I picked up some ads from old Remington rifles. I think I got like 60, 65 through 75 maybe. Yeah, it's kind of cool to look back. One of the things that I was curious about is they offered the Target Master, which was my very first rifle. For 2 years, they offered that in a carbine length. It was the last 2 years of production. I think it was a 22-inch barrel versus I don't know, 4.5-mile long barrel that they came with. I think it was 24-inch. But yeah, it's neat to look through those old catalogs and see what they actually offered. I can't remember where I put those things. But yeah, let's see here. Patty says, wow, Charlene K. All right. Thank you for joining us, Miss Patty. Good to see you on here tonight. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about, a good friend of mine called me up today and he said, my wife has a bunch of silver that she wants to sell. And I don't buy silver. I mean, I collect it for sure, but I'm not like a dealer or anything like that. But he knows that I have a little bit of background in it, and he wanted me to come over and look at the silver that she had and see if there was anything in there that was maybe something special. And I'm not a coin collector, but um, over the years I've gained a little bit of an idea of how to spot something that maybe worth something and who to talk to. So we're gonna go over there and look. Silver prices, they peaked back in November, and gold was up too. We sold a little bit of gold back before the first of the year. So yeah, silver's an interesting thing. I wouldn't look at silver as an investment. I would look at it as a protection. It tends to flow with inflation and pricing. So it's a good way to store your money. I wouldn't go out and buy a bunch of silver thinking that, you know, you're gonna gain more than what the general market is going to. Now that's not always true. Back when solar panels first came out, there was a big boom on silver because they were using silver in the solar panels, and they've since changed that. But silver prices went through the roof. I think it was like $50 an ounce or something like that, and that was, gosh, almost 20 years ago. So they haven't reached that price again. Let me pull that up and see. I don't even know if this chart won't even go back that far. Um, yeah, maybe somebody can say, but yeah, I think it was up to $50 an ounce, and so there were some people that made a bunch of money on it, but there was a lot of people that lost money on it too, because you know how it is. It's FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, and they see it going up to $50, they buy it $50, and down it goes, right? So it's just I don't know. Gold and silver, they're good things to have. We certainly do. It's not something that we use to make try to grow, but it's more of a hedge than anything else. If the dollar were to fall, or the stock market were to fall off real bad, then gold and silver is something that maybe hedge against that. But this is not investment advice, so um, do as you see fit. Any questions out there from you guys? We got a few people in the chat tonight, more than I thought. This is the first time I've done a solo chat, so I just had a few things I wanted to talk about tonight, and figured I'd get on here and say what I wanted to say. I appreciate you, Charlene and Patty and Kentucky and Pat. Thank you. Pat was on my podcast the other night. We had a great show, I thought. Uh, covered a lot of stuff, and of course, been on with both Kentucky and Pat this past week for the fundraiser, and that was just an amazing experience, and got to meet a lot of new people, a lot of really neat guys, and we got to do something to help somebody, which, man, there's nothing better than that, you know? Like if you can help somebody, if you're not doing it, it makes you feel bad, right? Yeah. Okay. Pat, says he's reforming a holster right now. Is that Kydex or leather? Because I've got a Kydex holster that I need to. It's a little too tight, and I've been told that I can take some heat to it and loosen it up a little bit. So yeah, interested to hear what you got going on there. So the other thing, oh, the book I've been reading lately is I've been reading Firearm and Bluing and Browning by R.H. Angier. And this was recommended by Mark Novak, which he's a great gunsmith on YouTube. I learned something from him about every time I watch his videos. But this has been really interesting. I've got a couple barrels that I really can't put on a firearm anymore because they've been squibbed and they're just not good for shooting anymore. So I want to play around with those a little bit and try out some of these techniques and see what I can do. All right. Pat says Kydex. Okay. Yep. Going after it with a heat gun. Yeah, I've got the Kydex holster that what was it? So the Walther P22, I think, came with a Kydex holster. It's really, really tight and no adjustment screws. The whole holster was riveted. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to have to take a heat gun to it and see if I can loosen it up. Are you leaving the gun in there and heating it up and just moving it in and out, or what are you gonna try? Be interested to see what he's gonna say about that. Another thing that yes, okay, yeah, heating it up. Well, yeah, that's seems to be the universal method, I think, for that. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, guys, y'all see the jersey in back, Tebow, Denver Broncos. I'm a big Broncos fan, and it's kind of my guilty pleasure. You know, it's like watching a soap opera. But this time of year, they start talking about who they're going to add to the team and the draft and all that fun stuff. And there's one guy that's on my wish list, and there's probably nobody out there that cares, but it's my podcast. I'm going to show you this kid right here. He is something else. And I hope we get him. His name's Tyler Warren. Played for Penn State. He's a tight end. He can play on the line. He can split out. He can play wide receiver. They lined him up at fullback. He took snaps at quarterback. I mean, this kid can do absolutely everything. So if I have my wish list, that would be it. Let's get back to Kentucky says, did you see the new ultralight 1022s Ruger released? I'm going to get one for Steel Shoot Challenges. 3.5 pounds? Wow. What are they made of? Are they like the old Remington nylons? That's crazy light. They gotta be like old Remington nylon. The Remington nylons were wildly popular. Kentucky says, yep, that's what it is. You know, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't redone the Remington nylon before now, because yeah, okay, carbon fire barrel too. Yeah, interesting. No, I hadn't seen those. I had not. You know, I mostly collect older guns. It's really rare for me to buy a new gun. That Bodyguard was probably the first new gun I bought in maybe a year. So I have to follow you guys to keep up with some of that stuff. But that's interesting. 3.5 pounds. That's half the weight of most 22s. That is cool. Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna pull that up right now because I have not seen one. That's called the ultralight. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So that comes in that like that little Target version as well. I saw they had one of those at the local getting spot the other day, the older one with the adjustable cheek piece and all the slots, and it had the stick on the bottom. I don't know what the Target guys call that stuff. I'm just a monkey shooting off of a bag. But yeah, that's cool. Ultra light. Let's see here. What do they say? I was watching a deal about barrels the other day, and I'd never really thought about this. Yeah, we're gonna check out that lightweight 1022. I'll see if my guy down at the shop can get one in so we can at least look at it. Yeah, I was watching a deal about barrels the other day, and guy was saying, like sometimes if you take a barrel and you go to thread it for a suppressor, well, there's tension built up in that barrel, right? And so when you thread that end, it can change the tension in that barrel and actually throw it off. And I never really thought about that. The CZ 455 that I have, the guy that sold it at the shop, I talked to him later, and he said the reason he sold it, it's a wonderful, wonderful rifle. I don't know why anybody'd sell it. But the reason he said he sold it is he wanted a suppressed version and he didn't want to mess with the barrel on it. And after watching that video about barrels and how they can kind of change if you thread them, that's understandable. I'm glad that he knew that because I've got that rifle now and it is sweet. So let's see. Okay, going to be available on the chassis. Chassis has not been released yet. Okay, well that is cool. I don't know much about carbon fiber barrels. I just don't. They don't come on guns that are as old as I usually am looking at. It's a neat deal though. It seemed like there was it the nylon that had like it wasn't carbon fiber, but it was a sleeved, maybe a sleeved plastic barrel of some sort. I think I think that was one of the ways they saved weight on that rifle. I've never had one, so I'm not super versed in the nylon. I've got the Remington book. I just I haven't gotten to that spot yet. Man, what a wonderful wonderful book. If you like Remington 22s, that is the ticket right there. Guys, I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk to. There is one other thing I want to talk to, and if you're just here for the guns, then I hope you stay. But if you don't want to, I totally understand. That's all. Let's see. Okay, that's an all carbon steel liner with carbon fiber sleeve. Okay, I might have to look into that. That's a interesting. I can't believe 3.5 pounds. That's wild. That was wild. So yeah, guys, I've been reading Luke here this past week, And there was a, there was the point. I think it's like chapter. I didn't bring my Bible in here with me. I should have. I think it's chapter 9, 10, 11, right around in there. Um, he's talking to his disciples and he's telling them, that they need to go out and spread the word. But there was actually the 70, and I'd never picked up on this. But aside from just the well, it was 11 disciples by then, but the 11 disciples, there was actually 70 that he sent out, and they had the power to heal the sick and to exorcise demons. And I just thought, I thought, man, I'd never picked up on that, and it just made me think, um, let's be the one of 70 that Jesus sent out. And he told them, he said, go out to cities, and when you get there, stay there. Um, but if they don't want you, then leave and shake the dirt off of your feet and go somewhere else. And it made me think, there's cities that we think of today that you just you don't think of God, right? Like when I was out in Vegas, almost as soon as I landed, I just had this feeling that it was different. Um, it didn't feel good. It just felt at Sin City, you know. And the whole time I was there, I wanted to come back home, and it's hard to explain why, but it just didn't feel like the right place to be. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth another night. But it just hit me when I saw that it wasn't just 12, like it wasn't just 12 disciples. It was a bunch of people, and they weren't they weren't special people. They were just people like you and me. And it even says in there somewhere, maybe I should go get the Bible and read it for you. But um, it basically says they're people like babes. They're not people of great knowledge, and that's how God wanted it. He wanted people that weren't, um, you know, uh, preachers, knowledgeable people. They weren't the smart ones, because God tells you in the Bible, He says, "I will give you the words to speak. Don't worry about that. I will tell you what to say." He'll tell you what to say. And I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine the other night. I'm just gonna hang on for a second. I want to get Kentucky in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I was talking to one of my good friends, and guys, I'm just gonna tell you, I don't have a lot of close friends. Got a lot of acquaintances and that kind of thing, but I don't have a lot of people I can call and talk to. But this is one of them, and we were talking, and I told him, I said, I feel pressed to speak about the Lord, even when it's uncomfortable, even when maybe I shouldn't, but I feel pressed to do it. And he said, "Yeah, I do too. I've been going through that." He said, "But I don't feel like I have enough knowledge to do it. I don't know the Bible enough." I said, "I don't either." Uh, but I don't think that should hold us back. I think I think that's just fear, and we should all. You don't have to know every iota of the Bible to love the Lord. You don't have to know every line in the Bible to know that you love God with every fiber. And that's not to say that you won't occasionally, have doubt. Look, when Jesus came back, he died. He was risen. People saw that he wasn't there. There was an angel sitting in the cave saying, "Guys, he died and he was raised up and now he's alive. See you later." And they left there and they told other people. And those people didn't believe. Jesus was among them. He was talking to them. They didn't see it. They couldn't believe, even after being with Jesus all that time, hearing him preach, telling them what he was going to do. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't see it with their eyes. He was right in front of them. And then a third time. You see this in the Bible. Third time. He's talking to them. He's sitting down, having meat, having dinner with them. They don't see him. And he finally says, "Guys, I'm right here. This is me. I've told you this is what I was going to do. This had to be done. It was prophesied in the Bible. I told you this is what had to be." Those were his followers. They were with him. They listened to him speak the words into their ears. So when we, so many years removed, we read our Bible, and sometimes we have doubt, you know? We have doubt about, can we speak for the Lord? Can we stand up and represent what he wanted to teach? Maybe we make a mistake. That's okay. God tells us he will tell us what to say. We have to believe in God. And that's not easy, because believers had a hard time doing it. Guys, let's pray. I thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate everybody that was in the chats. Coming out here solo is kind of a scary thing, because maybe nobody shows up, right? But that's okay too. But I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the comments, and I thank you for hanging around to the end. Dear Lord, we ask that you be with us. You give us the words. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Yes. Love you. See you next time.